We had one day in Otaru, a whole 24 hours to explore this northern port city in Hokkaido before hopping aboard a ferry to continue our journey across Japan. So yeah, we just got here in the nick of time. So in this episode, we're going to hit some of Otaru's main attractions. That means visiting Kitaichi Hall, which is illuminated only by petroleum lamps. We have come to the coolest cafe, feels very medieval. Sipping local Otaru beer.
That's a mighty fine pint, friends.
Sampling some sake.
That is very sweet. Wow, I had no idea sake could be that sweet.
And a few other surprises along the way. So join us in Otaru, Japan for 24 hours. First things first, we decided to go in search of lunch, and we ended up at a beef cutlet restaurant. So we're going to share that meal with you before diving into the sightseeing. We thought it was pretty fun since we got to cook our own food.
Shiroi beef hamburger cutlet.
Okay, so this is the set Sam ordered. There you go, there's the Hokkaido beef cutlet. And the fun part, you get to cook your own meat.
Isn't that so cool?
Got a little candle underneath there.
I guess you cook it like this.
It's gonna heat it up. And in case you're a confused foreigner, like we are.
Because you could eat it raw, huh?
They have instructions here in English. Oh, thank you.
Be careful to hold this meat.
Okay, thank you. That's very hot. And here is the hamburger one.
It's a cheaper hamburger. That's the shiroi. The set comes with, looks like potato and a salad. Of course, some miso soup. And then over here, maybe some radish. And rice.
Nice.
And some wasabi and dipping sauce.
That is going to be so much fun. And all the instructions are right there.
Yep.
Like even how to eat the meat.
Yep.
Like with this little thing here.
How cool is that?
Listen to that music. Look at that meat sizzling.
This is meat numbers. Let's see how it's coming.
How's
that's
it coming?
done.
Is it?
Yeah, it's not pink anymore.
No wasabi for you?
Not this time. Oh my gosh, that is so tender.
How's that Hokkaido beef?
Delicious. It's so crispy on the outside. Super crispy and then super tender.
Nice.
Nice big pieces. You're gonna like it a lot.
That is very nice beef.
Isn't that good? Gourmet, yeah? And to think there's levels here. We didn't even get the
finest.
The finest, yeah. You can level up to this, the Wagyu.
Look, 7,000.
Yeah.
We paid 2,200.
All right, let's try hamburger cutlet. It's pretty good. Yeah, it's so tasty, but no comparison to that though. That's a star. This is decent. That's outstanding.
Next, we explored Otaru's warehouse district, which is a beautiful part of the city. You have all these old stone and red brick buildings covered in ivy, promenades along the canal, and countless shops selling glass, because that's one craft this city is known for. So, Otaru is a destination that is well known for its glass makers, and that means you can buy all sorts of really cool souvenirs revolving around glass. And I mean, you can buy jewelry, like we were just in a shop that had necklaces and earrings, and they even had a little workshop where you could make your own jewelry. Then they also sell like beautiful cups and ornate vases. So a little bit of everything. It is pricey, but it is beautiful, handcrafted glass. So if you're into that sort of thing, you won't be bored here, especially if you come down to the warehouse district, because it's all just rows upon rows of little glass shops and souvenir shops. Thoughts exiting a glass and crystal store?
Well, I remember we were both talking inside saying we just have so much respect for Japanese craftsmanship. So there's a real dedication to the craft. And it also comes with a price tag though. And as we were walking around, it's like, if we had a little slip and were to slip on one of those displays, that could be like a $2,000 or $3,000 mistake if we came smashing into one of the display cases.
Yeah, so be careful inside those stores, guys.
Enjoy, but be mindful of your, spatial awareness to the max.
We then decided to visit Otaru Beer, located in Otaru Warehouse Number 1. This converted warehouse dates back to 1924, and it now serves as a brewery and beer hall. It has an impressive timber frame interior with large brewing kettles that sit right in the middle of the room, and the whole place has a very strong German feel. Why does it feel so much like Bavaria, you might be wondering? Well, the thing about Otaru Beer is that it uses traditional German brewing methods. As per Germany's purity law of 1516, that means beers are produced using only 4 ingredients: malt, hops, yeast, and pure Otaru water. Are we back in Germany?
We sure are. Otaru Brewing House and Pub. Oh, they have a Weissbier.
Weissbier.
Weissbier. Dunkelbier.
Dark
and
beer.
Pilsner Bier. Which beer?
This literally is like being back in Munich, and
it is. I remember specifically having the Weissbier on the Munich beer tour we did about 2 years ago. Yeah.
Well, friends, this is kind of surreal. We have found a little taste of Bavaria here in northern Japan, in Hokkaido. We were not expecting this. It's so crazy. Like, just look at the scene behind me with the banners, the giant beer vats back there. And we were just perusing through the menu, all German food. They have the currywurst, actually all types of wurst, all types of sausage. They have
pretzels.
They have the pork knuckle. I mean, whatever you could be craving from Bavaria, you're going to find it here, as well as a wide selection of beers. I went for a fruity berry beer.
I'm getting the Dunkel, friends.
Dunkel beer.
Dunkel beer.
So dark beer.
Yes.
All right.
Medium.
Medium. All right, so we wait. Prost!
Prost!
Sipping on that Dunkel beer. Oh yeah, how's that?
Ah, that's a mighty fine pint, friends. That's a great beer. And we got, of course, the pretzel, the German pretzel, with the coarse pieces of salt. Highly authentic. Gotta love it. I'm gonna try some. Oh, it's warm, guys. Warm and fresh. Check that out. Big old piece like that.
Ooh, freshly baked.
Salty, warm goodness. Perfect thing to have with the beer. And we got the main dish coming still.
Alrighty, friends, my turn. So this is actually Weiss beer with raspberry syrup. So I'm excited for this one. Cheers. Prost.
It's beautiful looking. Prost.
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 In the eyes, remember.
Right. The cameraman had to grab it. How's that?
Ooh, interesting.
Oh, our currywurst. Oh,
Look. Well, just in time. So a very modest portion. Some fries. It's got the curry powder, and then we have 2 Weisswurst, white sausages, with the curry sauce on top. So a little different in terms of the presentation, but we're going to enjoy it regardless.
We will.
So the food wasn't amazing. The white sausage isn't what you would normally use to make this dish, and the fries portion was a little bit meager, but hey, we're not in Germany, and the ambiance made up for it. After dinner, we went for a walk along the Otaru Canal, and we noticed there was a canal boat tour departing shortly, so we bought tickets right on the spot. This is our ride! Woo! The canal is an important historical and tourist attraction here. It was constructed in 1923, and it played a crucial role in the city's port operations, facilitating the transportation of goods from large vessels to warehouses along the canal. However, with the development of modern dock facilities that allowed direct unloading from larger ships, the canal eventually became obsolete. In the 1980s, there was a plan to fill in the canal, but thankfully, locals opposed the idea, and instead it was beautifully restored. Today, the former warehouses have been repurposed into museums, shops, and restaurants, making this a really nice part part of the city to explore on foot.
写真撮れるかもしれない。ショッカーのアジトという設定です。滑らせて運んでいます。こちらシュートと呼ばれています。橋の下、手が届けば幸せになれると言われてますが、今日は楽勝ですね。実は満潮干潮だね、潮の影響。
It's especially nice once the sun starts to go down, as the area is illuminated with old gas lamps. Another cool detail about this city. Alrighty, so we just got off the boat. We did the Otaru Canal tour, which was really nice, about 40-45 minutes.
Yeah, it's a great way to kind of see the surrounding areas of the downtown part of Otaru. It's fascinating because you do go through the canals, but you also go through some of the former industrial areas where there were canning centers, giant canning factories,
Warehouses,
and a lot of the buildings have been repurposed. Now Otaru seems to be more of a tourist town.
One little fun fact I learned about the vessels we took for this boat tour, they use biodiesel. So they basically buy the oil from restaurants that make tempura and other fried foods, and they use that to create their fuel. So I thought that was really interesting. We woke up the following day ready to explore again with the remaining hours we had before catching our ferry. We were staying at the Plumhouse, so we walked a few blocks to a nearby convenience store, grabbed a few breakfast items, and walked back to the guest house where they had free tea and coffee. This communal room with tatami floors was my favorite spot in the whole guest house. Soft morning light streaming in, colorful fans and painted vases adorning different parts of the room, and a bright kimono hanging on the wall. What's not to love? We only spent one night here, but it was the cutest little guest house with the sweetest hosts. After breakfast, we walked back down to Sakaimachi Street, which is the main tourist area where you'll find most of Otaru's top attractions. Our first stop was the Steamwhistle clock, and we arrived just in time to watch the clock strike 10. Alrighty, so if you happen to be in Otaru when the clock strikes the hour, you need to visit the steam clock. It's really cool, inspired by Vancouver's Gastown steam clocks. So yeah, we just got here in the nick of time, 11 a.m. and we got to see the steam clock blow. And now I'm hearing some little bells. I don't know if it's the same clock or if there's another one nearby that's making some music for us also on the hour. So yeah, that's a quirky little activity, checking out the steam clock. So we decided to follow our ears, and it turns out the music we could hear was coming from the Otaru Music Box Museum. Now, I will say this place is more of a large music box shop than a museum. Just letting you know because I walked every inch of the store looking for an official museum, but it's still a really cool spot to visit. Inside the shop, there were tens of thousands of music boxes, and most of them were open and playing music at the same time. It sounds pretty magical when you first set foot inside, but I don't know how the staff do it all day long. But anyways, if you're looking for a unique souvenir for that special someone, it doesn't get any more classic than a music box from Otaru. Okay, so we've entered another historic building made entirely out of wood. I am loving the architecture here in Otaru. And we're actually going to be visiting a music box museum, although it's also a shop. It's a store where you can buy all sorts of music boxes and intricate souvenirs. What do you think of this place?
It's pretty magical.
Yeah.
It feels festive, a little bit Christmassy.
Yes, the music makes it seem like it's Christmas.
Yeah, there's so many lights. This is a little photography fact. When you have a place that has this many lights going off, it trips up the automatic focus. I've been having to manually focus my lens here.
Look, we found a little souvenir, a little ornament that looks very Canadian. Very reminiscent of the Rocky Mountains. The bear, the elk, deer, forest. And they have loads of other animals, like they've got wolves. What else do they have? Bears and wolves. Alrighty, this is where we're planning to head next. Here we go. Next up, we walked over to Kitaichi Hall, the one place I really wanted to visit with our brief 24 hours in Otaru. Kitaichi is the name of a well-established glass company that started out in 1901, primarily selling oil lamps. And that historical connection is reflected in the cafe's interior, which is illuminated using 167 petroleum lamps, creating a very romantic and dreamlike setting. I read that if you come early enough, you can actually watch the lamp lighting ceremony that takes place at 8:45 a.m. when the cafe first opens, and it lasts about 15 minutes. After lighting the lamps, the chandeliers are then raised back up to the ceiling, so maybe consider going for breakfast if you want to experience that. We have come to the coolest cafe, dimly lit, feels very medieval. And what's interesting about this place is that it is entirely lit by gas lamps. We have gas lamps on the table, but also the chandeliers, like up on the ceiling. It just looks so magical, like these twinkly lights in this historic building. I am in love with the place. The menu is quite simple. It's mostly cakes, coffee, that sort of vibe. You can get a few different dishes, but we opted for something sweet. And yeah, super excited to be here. And you can smell that this place is like lit, illuminated with gas lamps. There's that little smell those lamps produce, taking me back in time. Back in time. Lovely, lovely dessert there.
I'm gonna try the Gâteau Chocolat. That was one of the tea sets that came here. Ooh, nice dense chocolate, I can tell. This is not the Japanese style, I don't think. It's normally fluffy. I could feel it's dense. Oh yeah. It's really good. Kind of reminds me of Austrian cake, to be honest.
Oh, well, high praise.
Very good. It has a nice chocolate taste. It's not overly sugary. Very nice cake. And the thing that I like about here, you covered the lighting situation. My favorite part about being here are the high ceilings. It makes me feel like we're like kind of in an old medieval ship or something.
Oh.
It's really a cool environment. And this is maybe the favorite thing that we've done here so far in this in Otaru, to be honest. I love it here. It's got such a unique environment. And I think we're gonna stay for a little while and eat our cake slowly, sip on our iced coffee slowly, and just enjoy the experience of being here.
We kept walking down Sakaimachi Street, and at one point we went into a shop that was offering free sake tastings. Do we know anything about sake? No, but we thought it'd be fun to try and potentially buy a bottle to take home as a souvenir. Free tasting. Hokkaido. Okay. Okay, so Sam here is gonna try a sake limited sale to Hokkaido.
So cool. They have a tasting station and they have, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 different options. So I don't know much about sake, so I went for the limited edition.
Yes.
And it's time to try it. That is very sweet. Wow, I had no idea sake could be that sweet. Yeah, I've never tried one quite like this. It's nice, it's just, I'm surprised, honestly, blown away by the sweetness, yeah.
All right, I'm going in for a little sip as well. I know nothing about sake. I'm a wine girl, so. That is surprising. That is like syrup.
Yeah.
It is very, very sweet, honey-like, but it also reminds me a tiny bit of a cough syrup because it's so sweet.
So we can each get a sample, so I'd like you to go get the traditional one, please. So let's try what a traditional sake tastes like. You're next. Hey, Audrey.
I got another kind. Very aromatic, but it also has like a smokiness to it.
Interesting. Pardon the flashing lights, friends.
That is also sweet. Am I having sake? This is the thing with like not knowing Japanese. They could be serving me anything. Is sake that sweet? I've only tried sake once before.
I haven't, I don't recall it being that sweet, no.
What the heck are
Fascinating.
we having?
Maybe there's special festive sakes. Or lack of sake awareness and knowledge is coming through, guys.
If you want to buy sake, you can come here. They also have wine.
Regional wines
And
from
whiskey.
Hokkaido, yeah.
Yeah,
Whiskey.
so buy your booze here.
Yes.
Alrighty, now time for some final thoughts on our visit to Otaru.
Yeah, well, I'm really glad that we came here. To be perfectly honest, our main reason for being here was to get a ferry ticket to leave Hokkaido. This is our final destination in Hokkaido. We absolutely loved it here on the island, and we loved it here in Otaru. Now I didn't know that much about the place before coming here. It's about 30 minutes away by train from Sapporo, so it makes a nice, charming coastal getaway from the big city. There's so much to do here. Very friendly place to just walk around. There's tons of museums and fascinating souvenir stores you can explore. Great food. You can take a little cruise along the canal. A nice place to go with the family, on a date, whatever. We really enjoyed it. You only need about a day to properly explore everything. Everything is compact and right focused on the center. So we really had a good time. We'd recommend coming here if you're based in the Sapporo area, and a nice place for us to finish off our trip in Hokkaido. And guys, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, leave a comment and subscribe, and stay tuned because we have that Japanese ferry ride we've been talking about coming up next.